car paragraph PPEN climate classification is one of the most widely used climate classification systems. It was first published by Russian-German climatologist Wladimir Köppen paragraph PPEN in 1884, with several later modifications by car paragraph PPEN himself, notably in 1918 and 1936. Later, German climatologist Rudolf Geiger collaborated with car paragraph PPEN on changes to the classification system, which is thus sometimes referred to as the car paragraph PPEN a Geiger climate classification system. The system is based on the concept that native vegetation is the best expression of climate. Thus, climate zone boundaries have been selected with vegetation distribution in mind. It combines average annual and monthly temperatures and precipitation, and the seasonality of precipitation. Scheme: the car paragraph PPEN climate classification scheme divides climates into 5 main groups, each having several types and subtypes. Each particular climate type is represented by a 2 to 4 letter symbol. Group A, tropical megathermal climates. Tropical climates are characterized by constant high temperatures. All 12 months of the year have average temperatures of 18 degrees Celsius or higher. They are subdivided as follows: tropical rainforest climate, all 12 months have average precipitation of at least 60 mm. These climates usually occur within 5–10 degree latitude of the equator. In some eastern coast areas, they may extend to as much as 25 degree away from the equator. This climate is dominated by the doldrums low-pressure system all year round, so has no natural seasons. Some of the places that have this climate are indeed uniformly and monotonously wet throughout the year, but in many cases, the period of higher sun and longer days is distinctly wettest, or the time of lower sun and shorter days may have more rain. A few places with this climate are found at the outer edge of the tropics, almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere. One example is Santos, Brazil. Note: the term seasonal refers to the lack in the tropical zone of large differences in daylight hours and mean monthly temperature throughout the year. Annual cyclic changes occur in the tropics, but not as predictable as those in the temperate zone, albeit unrelated to temperature but to water availability, whether as rain, mist, soil, or groundwater. Plant response, animal, and human activities are tuned to this seasonality. Indeed, in tropical South America and Central America, the rainy season is called invierno or inverno, though it could occur in the northern hemisphere summer. Likewise, the dry season is called verano or verapoundo, and can occur in the northern hemisphere winter. Tropical monsoon climate: this type of climate, most common in South America, results from the monsoon winds which change direction according to the seasons. This climate has a driest month with rainfall less than 60 mm, but more than 1/25 the total annual precipitation. Examples: Cairns, Queensland, Australia; Miami, Florida, United States. Also, another scenario exists under which some places fit into this category. This is referred to as the trade wind littoral climate because easterly winds bring enough precipitation during the winter months to prevent the climate from becoming a tropical wet and dry climate. Nassau, Bahamas is included among these locations. Tropical wet and dry or savanna climate: these climates have a pronounced dry season, with the driest month having precipitation less than 60 mm and also less than 1/25 the total annual precipitation. Examples: Darwin, Northern Territory, Australia; Caracas, Venezuela; Kaohsiung, Taiwan; Mumbai, India; Bangkok, Thailand. Most places that have this climate are found at the outer margins of the tropical zone, but occasionally an inner tropical location also qualifies. Actually, the Caribbean coast, eastward from the Gulf of Europa on the Colombia-Panama border to the Orinoco River Delta, on the Atlantic Ocean, have long dry periods, characterized by very low, unreliable precipitation, present, for instance, in extensive areas in the Guajira and Coro, western Venezuela, the northernmost peninsulas in South America, which receive less than 300 mm total annual precipitation, practically all in 2 or 3 months. This condition extends to the Lesser Antilles and Greater Antilles, forming the Circum-Caribbean dry belt. The length and severity of the dry season diminishes inland. At the latitude of the Amazon River which flows eastward, just south of the equatorial line the climate is off. East from the Andes, between the dry, arid Caribbean and the ever-wet Amazon are the Orinoco River's llanos or savannas, from where this climate takes its name. Sometimes as is used in place of if the dry season occurs during the time of higher sun and longer days. This is the case in parts of Hawaii, East Africa, and Sri Lanka, for instance. In most places that have tropical wet and dry climates, however, the dry season occurs during the time of lower sun and shorter days because of rain-shadow effects during the high sun part of the year. Group B, dry climates. These climates are characterized by actual precipitation less than a threshold value set equal to the potential evapotranspiration. The threshold value is determined as, multiply the average annual temperature in a degree Celsius by 20, then add 280 if 70% or more of the total precipitation is in the high sun half of the year, or 140 if 30% or 70% of the total precipitation is received during the applicable period, or 0 if less than 30% of the total precipitation is so received. If the annual precipitation is less than 50% of this threshold, the classification is BW. If it is in the range of 50%-100% of the threshold, the classification is BS. A third letter can be included to indicate temperature. Originally, H signified low-latitude climate while K signified middle-latitude climate. Is to use H to mean the coldest month has an average temperature above 0 degree Celsius, with K denoting that at least one month averages below 0 degree Celsius. Desert areas situated along the west coasts of continents at tropical or near-tropical locations are characterized by cooler temperatures than encountered elsewhere at comparable latitudes and frequent fog and low clouds, despite the fact that these places rank among the driest on Earth in terms of actual precipitation received. This climate is sometimes labeled BWN. The BSN category can be found in foggy coastal steppes. Examples: Turpan, China, Lima, Peru, Tabriz, Iran, Tehran, Iran, Walvis Bay, Namibia. On occasion, a fourth letter is added to indicate if either the winter or summer is wetter than the other half of the year. To qualify, the wettest month must have at least 60 mm of average precipitation if all 12 months are above 18 degrees Celsius, or 30 mm if not. Plus at least 70% of the total precipitation must be in the same half of the year as the wettest month but the letter used indicates when the dry season occurs, not the wet one. This would result in Khartoum, Sudan, being reckoned as BWHW. Niamey, Niger, as BSHW. Alexandria, Egypt, as BWHS. Asbia, Libya, as BSHS. Amna Paragraph Govi Province, Mongolia, as BWKW. And Xining, Qinghai, China, as BSKW. If the standards for neither W nor S are met, no fourth letter is added. Group C, temperate mesothermal climates. These climates have an average temperature above 10 degrees Celsius in their warmest months, and a coldest month average between 3 and 18 degrees Celsius. Some climatologists, particularly in the United States, however, prefer to observe 0 degrees Celsius rather than -3 degrees Celsius in the coldest month as the boundary between this group and the colder Group D. This is also done to prevent certain mild headland locations on the upper east coast of the US and Japan from fitting into the C group. When the boundary between C and D is increased to 0 degrees Celsius, this creates a smaller C zone located further southward. In the USA, areas from the NYC metropolitan area southward, as well as the lower Ohio Valley, lower Midwest and Southern Plains, are located in the mild C group, while locations to the north of these regions are Northern Plains, Great Lakes, Midwest, Upper Ohio Valley and Upper East Coast are located in the cooler D group. Using 0 degrees Celsius also pushes parts of northeast and northentral Asia into the colder D microthermal group. The second letter indicates the precipitation pattern. W indicates dry winters, S indicates dry summers, and F means significant precipitation in all seasons. The third letter indicates the degree of summer heat. O indicates warmest month average temperature above 22 degrees Celsius with at least 4 months averaging above 10 degrees Celsius. B indicates warmest month averaging below 22 degrees Celsius, but with at least 4 months averaging above 10 degrees Celsius, while C means 3 or fewer months with mean temperatures above 10 degrees Celsius. The order of these two letters is sometimes reversed, especially by climatologists in the United States. Dry summer subtropical or Mediterranean climates. These climates usually occur on the western sides of continents between the latitudes of 30° and 45°. These climates are in the polar front region in winter, and thus have moderate temperatures and changeable, rainy weather. Summers are hot and dry, due to the domination of the subtropical high-pressure systems, except in the immediate coastal areas, where summers are milder due to the nearby presence of cold ocean currents that may bring fog but prevent rain. Examples: Beirut, Lebanon; Khorramabad, Iran; Perth, Western Australia, Australia; Seville, Spain; Essaouira, Morocco; Porto, Portugal; San Francisco, United States. Under the CAR paragraph PPEN Geiger classification, dry summer subtropical extends to additional areas not typically associated with the typical Mediterranean climate, such as much of the Pacific Northwest, much of southern Chile, parts of west-central Argentina, and areas of northern Spain and Portugal. Many of these areas would be oceanic, except dry summer patterns meet CAR paragraph PPEN-CS minimum thresholds. Additional highland areas in the subtropics also meet CS requirements, although they, too, are not normally associated with Mediterranean climates. Humid subtropical climates. These climates usually occur on the eastern coasts and eastern sides of continents, mainly in the high 20s and 30s latitude. Unlike the Mediterranean climates where summers are dry, humid subtropicals have a warm and wet flow from the tropics that creates warm and moist conditions in the summer months. As such, summer is often the wettest season. The flow out of the subtropical highs in the summer monsoon creates a southern flow from the tropics that brings warm and moist air to the lower east sides of continents. This flow is often what brings the frequent but short-lived summer thunder showers so typical of subtropical East Coast climates. East Asia has the world's best developed subtropical monsoons, and the classic dry winter wet summer is characteristic of the region. In other eastern subtropical areas, like the USA and South America, mobile weather fronts mid-latitude storms tend to disrupt the normal dry winter wet summer monsoon pattern. Examples: Bengbu, Anhui, China; Rasht, Jilin, Iran; Sao Paulo, Brazil. Maritime temperate climates or oceanic climates, CFB climates usually occur on the western sides of continents between the latitudes of 45° and 55°. They are typically situated immediately polar to the Mediterranean climates, although in Australia and extreme southern Africa this climate is found immediately polar to the humid subtropical climate, and at a somewhat lower latitude. In Western Europe, this climate occurs in coastal areas up to 63° N in Norway. These climates are dominated all year round by the polar front, leading to changeable, often overcast weather. Summers are cool due to cool ocean currents, but winters are milder than other climates in similar latitudes, but usually very cloudy. Examples: Auckland, New Zealand; Copenhagen, Denmark; Curitiba, Brazil; Hamburg, Germany; London, United Kingdom; Melbourne, Victoria; Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. CFB climates are also encountered at high elevations in certain subtropical and tropical areas, where the climate would be that of a subtropical tropical rainforest if not for the altitude. These climates are called highlands. Temperate highland tropical climate with dry winters is a type of climate characteristic of the highlands inside the tropics of Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, Madagascar, Zambia, Zimbabwe and South Africa, but it is also found in central Argentina, outside the tropics. Winters are noticeable and dry, and summers can be very rainy. In the tropics, the rainy season is provoked by the tropical air masses and the dry winters by subtropical high pressure. Examples: Juliaca, Peru; Copacabana, Bolivia. Maritime subarctic climates or subpolar oceanic climates. These climates occur polluted of the maritime temperate climates, and are confined either to narrow coastal strips on the western polluted margins of the continents, or, especially in the northern hemisphere, to islands off such coasts. Examples: Grouse Mountain, North Vancouver, British Columbia; 1, Reykjavik, Iceland. Dry summer maritime subalpine climates. This climate exists in high elevation areas adjacent to coastal CSB climate areas, where the strong maritime influence prevent the average winter monthly temperature from dropping below -3 degrees Celsius. This climate is extremely rare and is only found in isolated areas of the Cascades and Andes Mountains, as the dry summer climate extends further polluted in the Americas than elsewhere. Examples: Balmaceda, Chile; Bohemia Mountain, Oregon. Group D, continental microthermal climates. These climates have an average temperature above 10 degrees Celsius in their warmest months, and a coldest month average below 3 degrees Celsius. These usually occur in the interiors of continents and on their upper east coasts, normally north of 40 degrees N. In the southern hemisphere, Group D climates are extremely rare due to the smaller land masses in the middle latitudes and the almost complete absence of land at 40–60 degrees, existing only in some highland locations. The second and third letters are used as for Group C climates, while a third letter of D indicates 3 or fewer months with mean temperatures above 10 degrees Celsius and a coldest month temperature below -38 degrees Celsius. Group D climates are subdivided as, lettering: the second letter indicates the precipitation pattern, W indicates dry winters, S indicates dry summers and F means significant precipitation in all seasons. The third letter indicates the degree of summer heat, L indicates warmest month average temperature above 22 degrees Celsius with at least 4 months averaging above 10 degrees Celsius. B indicates warmest month averaging below 22 degrees Celsius, but with at least 4 months averaging above 10 degrees Celsius, while C means 3 or fewer months with mean temperatures above 10 degrees Celsius. Scheme: hot summer continental climates. DFA climates usually occur in the high 30s and low 40s latitudes, with a qualifying average temperature in the warmest month of greater than 22 degrees Celsius per 72 degree Fahrenheit. In Europe, these climates tend to be much drier than in North America. In Eastern Asia, Dwa climates extend further south due to the influence of the Siberian high-pressure system, which also causes winters there to be dry, and summers can be very wet because of monsoon circulation. Tsa exists at higher elevations adjacent to areas with hot summer Mediterranean climates. Examples: Arak, Markazi Province, Iran; Chicago, Illinois, United States; Muay, Turkey; Pyongyang, North Korea; Sain-and-Daj, Kurdistan, Iran. Warm summer continental or hemiboreal climates. DFB and EWB climates are immediately north of hot summer continental climates, generally in the high 40s and low 50s in latitude in North America and Asia, and also in Central and Eastern Europe and Russia, between the maritime temperate and continental subarctic climates, where it extends up to high 50s and even low 60 degrees latitude. Examples: Helsinki, Finland; Kiev, Ukraine; Fargo, North Dakota; Buffalo, New York; Montreal, Quebec; Vladivostok, Russia. DSB arises from the same scenario as Tsa, but at even higher altitudes or latitudes, and chiefly in North America, since the Mediterranean climates extend further polluted than in Eurasia. Examples include Flagstaff, Arizona; South Lake Tahoe, California; Chivas, Turkey. Continental subarctic or boreal climates. DFC and DWC climates occur polluted of the other Group D climates, mostly in the 50s and low 60s north latitude, although it might occur as far north as 70 degrees N. Murmansk, Russia; Yellowknife, Northwest Territories; Fairbanks, Alaska; Homer, Alaska; Mo County, Heilongjiang. Continental subarctic climates with extremely severe winters. Places with this climate have the temperature in their coldest month lower than -38 degrees Celsius. These climates occur only in eastern Siberia. The names of some of the places with this climate are most notably Verkhoyansk and Oymyakon have become veritable synonyms for extreme, severe winter cold. Group E, polar and alpine climates. These climates are characterized by average temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius in all 12 months of the year. Tundra climate, warmest month has an average temperature between 0 and 10 degrees Celsius. These climates occur on the northern edges of the North American and Eurasian land masses, and on nearby islands. It also occurs on some islands near the Antarctic convergence. ET is also found at high elevations outside the polar regions, above the tree line, Mount Fuji, Japan, Mount Washington, New Hampshire, Jotunheimen, Norway, El Alto, Bolivia, population 974,754. Ice cap climate, all 12 months have average temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. This climate is dominant in Antarctica and in inner Greenland. Occasionally, a third, lowercase letter is added to ET climates if either the summer or winter is clearly drier than the other half of the year. Thus Herschel Island off the coast of Canada's Yukon Territory, becomes ETW, with Pic du Midi de Bigorre in the French Pyrenees acquiring an ET's designation. If the precipitation is more or less evenly spread throughout the year, ETF may be used, such as for Hebron, Labrador. When the option to include this letter is exercised, the same standards that are used for groups C and D apply, with the additional requirement that the wettest month must have an average of at least 30 on precipitation. Seasonal precipitation letters are almost never attached to EF climates, mainly due to the difficulty in distinguishing between falling and blowing snow, as snow is the sole source of moisture in these climates. Trewartha Climate Classification Scheme. The Trewartha Climate Classification Scheme is a modified version of the car paragraph PPEN system, and was an answer to some of the deficiencies of the 1899 car paragraph PPEN system. The newer Trewartha theme attempts to redefine the middle latitudes in such a way as to be closer to vegetational zoning and genetic climate systems. This change was seen as most effective in Asia and North America, where many areas fell into a single zone. Under the standard car paragraph PPEN system in the USA, for example, western Washington and Oregon are classed into the same climate as Southern California, even though the two regions have strikingly different weather and vegetation. The car paragraph PPEN system also classes places in the Midwest like Iowa into the same climate zone as Louisiana or South Carolina. Trewartha's modifications sought to reclass the middle latitudes into zones. 1. Subtropical, 8 or more months have a mean temperature of 50 Fahrenheit per 10 Celsius or higher. 2. Temperate, 4 to 7 months have a mean temperature of 10 Celsius or higher. 3. Boreal, 1 to 3 months have a mean temperature of 10 Celsius or higher. This change from the older car paragraph PPEN system was thought to reflect a more true or real-world reflection of the global climate. Group A, the tropical climate realm, defined the same as in car paragraph PPEN scheme. Climates with no more than 2 dry months are classified R, while others are classified O if the dry season is at the time of low sun short days or as if the dry season is at the time of high sun long days. There was no specific monsoon climate identifier in the original scheme, but M was added later, with the same parameters as car paragraph PPENs. Group BBW and BS mean the same as in the car paragraph PPEN scheme, with the car paragraph PPEN BWN climate sometimes being designated BM. However, a different formula is used to quantify the aridity threshold, 10x plus 3p, with T equaling the mean annual temperature in degrees Celsius and P denoting the percentage of total precipitation received in the 6 high sun months. If the precipitation for a given location is less than the above formula, its climate is said to be that of a desert. If it is equal to or greater than the above formula but less than twice that amount, the climate is classified as steppe. and if the precipitation is more than double the value of the formula, the climate is not in Group B. Unlike in car paragraph PPEN scheme, no thermal subsets exist within this group in Trewartha's, unless the universal thermal scale is used. Group C, in the Trewartha scheme, this category encompasses subtropical climates only. CS and CW have the same meanings as they do in car paragraph PPEN scheme, but the subtropical climate with no distinct dry season is designated CR instead of car paragraph PPEN CF, in addition to the driest summer month having less than 30 mm precipitation and being less than 1/3 as wet as the wettest winter month. Group D, this group represents temperate climates with temperate. Oceanic maritime climates are denoted DO in the Trewartha classification. Near the east coasts of both North America and Asia actually qualify as DO climates in Trewartha's scheme when they fit into CFA rather than CFB-CWB in car paragraph PPENs, while temperate continental climates are represented as DCA and DCB. For the continental climates, sometimes the third letter is omitted and DC is simply used instead, and occasionally a precipitational seasonality letter is added to both the maritime and continental climates. The dividing point between the maritime and continental climates is a 3 degrees Celsius in the coldest month. However, some climatologists particularly in the United States now observe 0 degrees Celsius in the coldest month as the equatorial limit of the continental climates in that scheme as well. Group E, this represents ice realms, defined the same as in car paragraph PPEN scheme. In the original scheme, this group was not further divided. Later, the designations EO and EC were created, with EO signifying that the coldest month averages above a 10 degrees Celsius, while EC means that at least one month has an average temperature of a 10 degrees Celsius or below. As in Group D, a third letter can be added to indicate seasonality of precipitation. There is no separate counterpart to the car paragraph PPEN DFDDWD climate in Trewartha's scheme. Group F, this is the polar climate group, split into FT and FI. Group H, highland climates, in which altitude plays a role in determining climate classification. Specifically, this would apply if correcting the average temperature of each month to a sea level value using the formula of adding 5.6 degrees Celsius for each 1,000 meters of elevation would result in the climate fitting into a different thermal group than that into which the actual monthly temperatures place it. Sometimes G is used instead of H if the above is true and the altitude is 500 meters or higher but lower than 2,500 meters. But the G or H is placed in front of the applicable thermal letter rather than replacing it a and the second letter used reflects the corrected monthly temperatures, not the actual monthly temperatures. Universal thermal scale, an option exists to include information on both the warmest and coldest months for every climate by adding a third and fourth letter, respectively. The letters used conform to the following scale, IA severely hot, mean monthly temperature of Permel 35 yen degrees Celsius, or Hige very hot, 28 to 34.9 degree Car hot, 23 to 27.9 degrees CB warm, 18 to 22.9 degrees CL mild, 10 to 17.9 degrees CK cool, 0.1 to 9.9 degree Co cold, A. 9.9 to 0 degrees CC very cold, a 24.9 to a 10 degree CD severely cold, a 39.9 to a 25 degree C excessively cold, a 40 degrees Celsius or below. Examples of the resulting designations include AFAR for Surabaya, Indonesia, BWHL for Aswan, Egypt, CRHK for Dallas, Texas, US. DOBK for London, ECLC for Arkhangelsk, Russia, and FTKD for Barrow, Alaska, US. World map of the car paragraph PPEN Geiger climate classification for the period 1951 2000, based on recent data sets from the Climatic Research Unit of the University of East Anglia and the Global Precipitation Climatology Centre at the German Weather Service, A new digital car paragraph PPENA Euro Geiger world map on climate classification for the second half of the 20th century has been compiled. Other maps. All maps use the APML 0 yen degree Celsius definition for temperate climates and the 18 degree Celsius annual mean temperature threshold to distinguish between hot and cold dry climates. See also, Holdridge Life Zones climate classification by 3 dimensions, precipitation, humidity, and potential evapotranspiration ratio. References. External links. World map of the car paragraph PPENA Euro Geiger climate classification for the period 1951 Euro 2000, global climate maps, using car paragraph PPEN classification, Google map of the geography of the car paragraph PPEN climate classification system by turning on the weather feature. You can compare today our Euro unregistered trademark S weather with the over 100-year-old climate classification system. Climate Records, Weatherbase, IPCC Data Distribution Center.